Thank you everybody for coming this afternoon. Today we're going to do a professional development on Google Classroom and specifically on making some assessments using Google Forms. And just as a reminder, I know we all know this, but we're in the 21st century classroom. We have computers, but simply giving the child the computer is not going to guarantee academic improvement. It's how we as the teachers put it in place that's going to determine how much academic improvement there might be. Alright, so today's focus, we're going to be creating assessments for Google Classroom. I wanted to go over some of the reasons why this is a benefit for us. It's paperless. The feedback, you can do automatic scoring, so the feedback is immediate. Data analysis, I'll show you at the end when you get all the data come in, how you can look at it and learn a lot about your students and where they're at. Also, it syncs with Aries, so after you do a quiz on Google Forms, you can actually input your grades into Aries with just a few clicks of a button. And it syncs, Google Classroom syncs with a lot of apps that have assessments already in them. And you can also sync those grades into Aries. So some of the ones I've used so far, I use quizzes, I use ReadWorks, and you can send their grades right in. So, and they have pre-made assessments, or you could create your own on them. But today we're gonna focus on formatting questions in Google Forms, okay? So I believe this is the second page. So here's an example of what you're gonna see when you first go in. And the questions that you can create on Google Forms, there's many types. So you could do short answer questions, you could do multiple choice, you could do what they call checkboxes and a checkbox grid, and I'll show you what that looks like. You could have a drop-down menu. A linear scale is usually used for a survey. So it's like a line from 1 to 5, and you could say like, don't agree or agree at the end. There's a multiple choice grid and a checkbox grid, and these are really cool. So a lot of these will help prepare them for the SBAC because they're going to be using a lot of the same skills. Any questions so far about any of those? Okay, I'm going to try to show you all of them today, and then when you guys are working with your grade level partners, you can try some things out. So for right now, I would like you to take a couple minutes and just talk about how you used Google Classroom so far in your classroom. How has it benefit you? And looking at some of the advantages of using Google Forms, what are some things you're really looking forward to in Google Forms? We'll take a couple minutes to talk to your partner.
Transferring Aries grades into Google. I didn't know that ReadWorks. Like you could assign ReadWorks or ReadWorks. So what things you use Housing. So all the websites that you put in content, I have it. Yeah, I do ReadWorks as well. Like I
And this is a grammar.
like a close.
So I know you haven't really started using it yet, right? But I think today you're going to see some of the things can be made really simple.
Yeah, so it's a so I made just one. I haven't told them yet,
And like I
but I
said,
just made it just one question,
I
just
know.
for them to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can see how much progress.
Yeah. It's much easier than I thought before.
So is this the current one?
Yes, absolutely.
You don't have to design it. Really.
All right, thank you very much. I heard a lot of good talking going on. I heard Aries, which I knew was going to come up. Being able to sync it with Aries is really awesome, our grade book. And I heard some people talking about ReadWorks. I used ReadWorks before without Google Classroom, and now it's much easier syncing it with Google Classroom. Okay, so we are going to create a self-grading test on Google Forms. So as I go through the next part, you can go with me step by step on the computer. And also the notes are in your packet, okay? And if I do anything too fast, please let me know, okay? And I'm like you guys, I'm still learning, okay? So I'm gonna be going back and forth between my PowerPoint But the focus now is going to be on making an actual test. So when you first came in, you did take a quiz that I sent to you. And that quiz was about Mesa Robles, our school. And just to give you an example of some of the things you could do, so I have your responses. So when we talk about data analysis, you'll be able to look at this a little closer later, but it can do it by question. So you can look at individual questions. That was a summary. Here's my question. You can do it by individual student to see what they marked and what they didn't mark. So there's a lot available here at the click of a button, which is really, really nice, okay? But I'm gonna go back to Google Classroom where you guys are. And then I don't know how you have your Google Classroom set up, but this is my stream where I would put all my announcements, and then all my classwork is gonna go under classwork. And then I'm gonna click create. Does everybody see the create button? So this is where you create assignments and things like that. And we're gonna go to create quiz assignment. Okay. And you see it pops up. You should see your name in your class and all students and a place to write a title. Okay. So we could do a very simple one today. Is there a topic, a simple topic that anybody wants to try? Math, addition,
Multiplication.
multiplication.
Let's just
Okay, so you might want to name it, and you guys can go ahead and do this or if you want to already design it for your grade level, if you want to do addition or you want to do something else, go ahead. Okay, this is just to show you how to get started. And then I actually learned some new things last night. So you could put instructions, which is optional. I haven't used that a lot because I don't know, right now I feel like if there's too much on the page, it's a lot for them to look at. And then down here, you can choose how many points you want it to be worth. You can always go back later and change it, so don't freak out. If you do it worth 100, that doesn't mean it has to go into Aries as 100 points. When you go to Aries, I'll show you that this can be based on 100, but you could make it worth 5 points in Aries. So that's not a huge thing. But I usually actually, I've been doing quizzes, so if I'm gonna do 5 questions, sometimes I do 5. It just depends. Here, due date, you can put that if you want. I haven't done that a lot because sometimes I forget and I haven't used it yet, and then the due date passes. So I just kind of leave it. You can, however, set a date and a time. So if you don't want the kids to be able to take it at home, then you can set the time so that it goes off, okay? Kind of like we do for AI. Topic. If you have yours set up like I do, under classwork, I have all these topics, okay? If I want it to appear under one of those topics, then that's where I click that topic button. And you'll see, for me, it's all the topics. Topics are kind of like folders. So these are all the topics or folders that I have. For me, what I have found, I gave a quiz today, and I just put it at the top. I wanted it at the top, so I didn't put it in a topic. So if it doesn't go in the topic, it's going to be up at the top. Okay? Any questions so far?
If you make the quiz once and then you want to add another question after you've already published it, can you still add? My kids haven't taken it yet.
If they haven't taken it, yes. And you can also share, invite other teachers. I have both third grade teachers on mine, so anything I create, they can go in and grab and use as well. So then you have your common assessment right there. Okay? So multiplication quiz. Okay. And then, so no topic. Now this is something new I learned. The originality reports, if they do an essay, it will actually check for plagiarism and for citation. We may not use that, but I thought that was pretty interesting. So that you don't have to make a lot of changes now, and you could decide later to change, but when you're ready to create your quiz, you click on the blank quiz for Google. And then you are ready to start your questions. Okay? So I usually go through and put my title. So you can go ahead and do that. this is where you're going to decide what kind of question do I want. So if you go over here to your add question, it's a little plus sign right here. And just so you know for later, all this is in your notes in the PowerPoint, okay? So question number 1, and we said multiplication, so we could just do a multiplication like 7 times 6, which is one they miss a lot, okay? And then I go over here. Do I want a short answer for that? Do I want multiple choice? Click the drop down menu. Okay? And this is where your choices of questions are. Okay? So I'll start with the basic, which is a multiple choice. Okay. Oh, do you need